Welcome back to Hardball. In an explosive new book, Pulitzer Prize-winning author Ron Suskind charges that the White House ordered the CIA to forge a letter by Iraq's intelligence chief alleging that 9/11 hijacker Mohammed Atta trained for his mission in Iraq. The fake document was allegedly ordered in the fall of 2003 after no weapons of mass destruction were found in Iraq and after former Ambassador Joe Wilson said the Bush administration twisted intelligence to exaggerate the Iraqi threat. Ron Suskind is here with us. His book is The Way of the World, a story of truth and hope in an age of extremism. Ron, I have a great deal of respect for you and your work. I've loved all of your work. But let me take you through a little timeline here for people who have not yet purchased the book, not yet read the book. You allege in the book that in the fall of '03, that George Tenet, then the CIA director, was at the White House and after a meeting in the White House returned to the CIA headquarters with a piece of paper, a plain cream-colored piece of paper, White House stationery, handed it to a CIA underling and said the White House wants us to forge a letter from Iraqi intelligence chief alleging that there were weapons of mass destruction and that Mohammed Atta. Is that correct? Is that roughly correct?
Absolutely, and the evidence is indisputable. Hour after hour of conversations, many of them taped. You know, in the book, all on the record. The folks saying that, of course, have come under vituperative attacks from various quarters. The White House, of course, is worried about that part of it because that could end with not only congressional investigations, but it's a statutory violation of the statutes founding the CIA. Of course, that's illegality. So that's where the pressure has come on that little bridge between the White House and the CIA of the many, many allegations in the book.
Well, let me ask you, because I'm not nearly as wired as you are into that whole Washington world. In September of '03, we would have already had Ambassador Wilson's piece appearing in the New York Times in July. We would have already had Ambassador Wilson's wife Valerie Plame's name being mentioned in a column by Bob Novak, who we hope and wish well with his illness. We would already have had the CIA director George Tenet swallowing the 16 words that he gave President Bush in the State of the Union address. We would have already had numerous numbers of anecdotal bits of evidence that the White House distrusted the CIA, and particularly the Vice President's office particularly distrusted George Tenet, the director of the CIA. So what sense would it make for the White House to have Tenet transport this thing?
Well, it was an order. It was an order from the White House to the CIA to be carried out, so that there would be essentially a refutation of this letter, ostensibly from the Iraq intelligence chief, predated a few months before 9/11 to Saddam, saying that there's a Saddam al-Qaeda connection and that Saddam was out purchasing yellow cake with al-Qaeda's help. It was, as one of the CIA people quoted in the book says, it was a check-the-box issue for all the White House's political troubles, and it is against statute, i.e. it is illegal, and that's why folks are focusing in this book on this specific part and have put pressure on the participants. It's ugly to see, but ultimately this will come out, no doubt, if not in the next couple of days, because, you know, it's all indisputable, but potentially in congressional hearings going forward under oath with threat of perjury.
But, you know, you've been around a long time, you've seen a lot, you've written a lot. I mean, when you were told that someone actually gave the CIA director a cream-colored piece of stationery with instructions on it, wouldn't your first reaction be my first reaction? No one is dumb enough to put in writing what they clearly, according to you, put in writing.
Well, it's clear they did. Look, I've been out at this for a long time, Mike. They tend not to, but everyone makes mistakes. And this is a case where they did leave a paper trail, even though Dick Cheney has moved for years to say, make it paperless. Here is a piece of paper. People remember it quite vividly. They remember talking about it. They remember it being passed down the chain. Again, there are many, many witnesses to this, and it's clear, it's true. It'll come out ostensibly in its fullness, I'm sure, in the next days.
Well,
it's in the book, obviously.
It's in the book.
People read page after page of it with people quoted on the record, and they're like, well, there it is.
Well, it's in the book. I understand that. I read a huge portion of the book this afternoon.